Hello everyone, good morning. Mimi Crafty Crojo here. I thought this morning I'd take you on a little stroll around my work in progress. We bought this house about 3 years ago and we have lots of things going on, but I did end up planting quite a few flowers this year. Most of my flowers are just beginning to bloom out. We've had extreme heat for the last 30 days, so what you see, they look small, but they are going to grow, hopefully. We're expecting some rain finally this afternoon, and we haven't had any all month. So without further ado, I'll take you on a little walk, and you can kind of see the progress I have been making. Excuse my weeds. My grass is not cut. We held off on that because of lack of rain, and we do have a well. So anyway, this is the bed that is on the south side of my house. And it's just a small bed, but I have New Guinea Impatience and some grasses, geraniums. There's some Angelina, which I love, by the way. The Angelina is in the Snapdragon family, and it's really pretty. These two pots were given to me by my daughters for Mother's Day, and the petunias are gorgeous and so strange, but this one has begun to change colors, so that's interesting. What else do I have in here? I have the sedum. This was my mom's sedum, and it was given to my girlfriend Gidge, and she had surprised me one day when I got a house again and brought me one of my mom's sedum, and since then I have made a lot. And all you have to do basically with the sedum is you pick off a piece of it and you stick it in the ground and it grows. But that is a memory of my mom, so I'm very fortunate to have that. My camera skills are probably not all that good. I have no grass in this back section of my yard. We had a very small yard and he opened it up and took down a whole bunch of trees, and so that we are working on that. Along the back bed, I have Celosia and more Angelina. I have thousands, you'll see they're not weeds, they're all zinnias that are coming up. There's one of my pots with some petunias. The rhododendrons, some more sedum. Let's see. And this one here is also Celosia, which is also called coxcomb. Some more of the New Guinea Impatience. I have thousands of zinnias coming up. My husband actually said to me, "Are those weeds that are coming up out there?" Or I'm like, "Don't you weed whack my flowers. You'll be in big trouble." Then we have a bird bath, which we need to clean and fill this morning. That used to belong to my girlfriend Gidge, and there's some petunias around there, a whole bunch more zinnias, some stock. Then we have another rhododendron, and this is all kind of similar. And then I have my birdhouse that was given to me by my children, and it was pretty cool. We put the birdhouse up, and within a week, somebody took it over, and right now there's probably 4 baby birds in there. We hear them chirping every so often. I did put my phone up there and took a little small video yesterday. So, and we have some lobella with some Angelina in there, more geraniums, Angelina, lots of zinnias. I had a whole bunch of zinnia seeds, so I'm like, I'm just gonna put them in, and I will probably, once these get to a certain size, transplant everything out and position them exactly how I want them. Let's see. And all my rocks, my boulders, you're gonna see a lot of rocks. My husband brought in truckloads and truckloads of beautiful granite rocks, and that's kind of my theme, is having the rock beds around. So another rhododendron, and some New Guinea Impatience, some more geraniums. This right now is a hot mess. This was a heart that was lined with lobella, and my salvia, the red salvia, is really stressed from the heat, so it's not doing all that well. I may end up having to redo this, but when I first did it, it looked really nice. And then the little bunnies, we had a group of baby bunnies, and they decided they liked the lobella, so they came in and chomped it all down. So I'm missing 3/4 of my lobella. And gardening is a live and learn situation. Sometimes things do well, sometimes they don't. Some things work with animals in the yard, some things don't. Here's some of my piles of dirt, which is not all that bad, because we had, I have to say, it was probably 80 or 90 truckloads of dirt brought in, because he widened out our yard down on the other end, and basically made the yard like 30-40 feet bigger. And then we had a microburst happen a couple of years back, and the lower portion of our property just was destroyed from that. It just sheared off all the trees, so there were a ton of trees that had to come down. This is looking out towards the front of my house, and there are trees all the way down in this section. Those trees are all going to be removed and then replaced with nicer trees and landscaped properly. My grass is toast as of right now because of the lack of water. There's nothing I can do because we are on a well, and we're just praying for rain. So on this end we have a huge lilac tree, which is probably going to come out. I think it's seen better days. It was here when we purchased the house, and I tried a couple of times to trim it back, but it's just not producing. Everything is up on the top, and I think I'm going to have to do something else. So on this side, in the front portion of my house, I have, what do I have? Montauk daisies, daylilies, more sedum, more daylilies, and some hosta. More Montauk daisies, which are in the family of like a mum. They look like a Shasta daisy, but they don't bloom out until the fall. And they're really hardy, but those came from my girlfriend Gidge. I have 2 lilac bushes that I am propagating. And then I have, let's see, there's one of my dahlias and some more daylilies. And I have my pots hanging up underneath the eave of my house. The purple ones, the verbena, I had cut those back. Excuse me. I had cut those back, and they are starting to bloom out again. Every so often you just have to give them a haircut. And the next thing is, what is that? It's, Lantana. And the Lantana is beautiful. You get a better shot of that. And I'll try to insert some pictures. And let's see, we have some more dahlias coming. Yuccas. We have a whole bunch of yuccas. This area here has a lot of stuff that I have to move around because it's sort of my propagation area at the current time. So, I'm just starting plants up in here, and then I'm moving them. I have a hydrangea here that is starting to get some flowers on, but the lantanas are just gorgeous. Look at these lantanas. They are just loving it here. So that's good. Some more geraniums, some azaleas, some more daylilies, lots of irises that need to be transplanted back out into another area of the landscape. And then let's see, we get to my front porch. I just have my 2 pots here, which have the latte petunias in them, and some sweet potato vines, some stock, and some Angelina. So there's a couple of those. And then I'll go to the other side. And again, this basic theme is similar all the way down. I tried to do groupings for this year. Lots of things will be changed around. Some more Angelina, New Guineas, and let's see, my spirea that I propagated from a little tiny twig. And I have this hydrangea that is starting to bloom out, which is very pretty, but The blue color, excuse me, is not all that strong, which tells me that I need to up the fertilization. Either the pH is off, so the pH is what determines the color on your hydrangeas. I have my this large Pyria Bush, which is now in bloom, and it's beautiful. It blooms 3 different colorways, a mixture of pink and white, and it gets pink, solid pink, and solid white, and they looks like lace. So here's another of my Lantana, and some more hanging pots. My stock is my Phlox is starting to bloom. So hopefully in the next update video, we will have a lot more flowers and a lot more growth happening. Some more dahlias, Angelina, geraniums. My peony is done blooming for the year, but oh my goodness, the hot pink flowers, and they were gorgeous. We've got some grass here that needs to be divided out, split up. I made a mistake on my butterfly bush this year. It wasn't really a mistake, I just didn't get to it. I never cut it down, and so now it is gigantic. So I will be making more butterfly bushes off of this. After it blooms, I will trim it down a little bit and make some more plants, which again is very easy to do. You basically clip it off, stick it in the ground, nice humid area, and they will grow. And let's see, in this corner I have the New Guinea Impatience, geraniums. I have a pot with some petunias and grass and Angelina. My liatris is starting to bloom, and there's some beautiful daylilies in the background along with some gladiolas. I didn't get to trim down my liatris last year, so I have thousands and thousands of liatris coming up, some of which I've already moved around, and they won't bloom this year. They probably will take a good year to establish themselves, but they are perennials and they do come back every year. We have some more of my tall Phlox, which looks like a beautiful pink geranium mixture, variegated geranium when it blooms. So really like those. Those come back every year. Some more daylilies. My Astilbe, which looks like feathers, and it's very pretty. That is also a perennial and comes back every year. So we have those, and my little bird bath in the front, and kind of pan around slowly and see if you can get an idea of the front section of the yard. Our yard is very long. We have a few acres here, so it is kind of a big yard. So I've been trying to incorporate lots of little beds, and you know, we're getting there. We're making some progress. This is one of the rocks that was in the front of the house, which they must have dug out of the ground, and it's a huge boulder, and I just think it's an interesting rock, so I left it. And in here you will see all these sedums. They're only 2 years old, just 2 years old, and they were just a small sprig of just a couple of leaves. I just broke off a piece, stuck it in the ground, and this is what I have. And I have lots of them coming up, so I'm really happy about those, and they take the heat, and yeah, they're pretty cool. So in here I have Vinca and stock and zinnias, and what else? Some grass coming up. So I'm really happy with the progress so far on my Vincas. At first I had a little something chomping them, but they seem to have calmed down a little bit, so that's a good thing. Because I try not to use too many chemicals at all if I don't have to. So this is the back side of the rock. And like I said, everything is just starting now because our nighttime temperatures are well up into the 60s. And that's usually when you start to see everything start to flush out and start to drape over and fill in. and that's cool. On top of the rock I have a little, what do you call it? Yeah, garden with little cactusy things. Oh my goodness, it's on the tip of my tongue. But they seem to do well there, and they're actually starting to flower. So that's kind of cool. Everybody said, oh, they won't grow up there. They've been growing every year. One of my lampposts, let's see, I put some white Vinca down on the bottom, and then I made up a couple of pots with some of the baby bells, lantana, and what else is in there? I think that's it. They're mostly baby bells and lantana, which I think are really pretty. This is my little plant hospital right now. My husband had not put the dirt in these beds, and these plants were sitting in the flats, and he wanted to use his trailer. Told me to take the plants and put them on the ground, and I think the ants chomped the leaves, so I had to cut everything back, and if they don't work out, I'll be pulling them out and replacing them with something else. And I've got another bed down here that has lots of Vinca, just purple Vinca. I tried to do mass plantings this year. I don't know why, but I did. And it's just, I wanted to have a different look than I've had in the past. And then this is a bed down by my mailbox, which has hosta, sedum, phlox, daylilies, and sunflowers coming up, hopefully. I planted so many sunflower seeds, but we have chipmunks and squirrels. Now, I've been putting out piles of seeds for the chipmunks and the squirrels, trying to keep them out of my garden. And I put them all the way down the beds, good sized piles, and those little buggers are back and forth all day long. They stole all my sunflower seeds that I planted. I don't know. So, anywho, I have to start sunflower seeds in pots, otherwise they just don't happen. This so far it's my cherry tree, and there's this big bed underneath it. And I put sweet alyssum in here, and right now it's not doing much of anything, so it's a little bit of a disappointment. We will see what happens. I have to go get some fertilizer and hit these plants with some fertilizer and see if they will pick up. They probably will pick up now that we're starting to get a lot of humidity. And then I have my other lamppost, which is done the same way, same type of pots, and I think they came out really pretty. And let's see, we have another rock over here, which again was with the property, and this one has similar, it matches the one across from it with the sedum, the Vinca, the petunias now, no petunias in here, stock, zinnia, and grass. So there's that one. And then under this tree over here, pan around, this is another part of my yard. My daughter is building a heart-shaped Zen Garden back there, and she's waiting for the river rock to come so she can do that. Under this tree I have a ground cover, which is called chocolate chip, and that is done blooming for the season, but it also has pansies, which were pretty much done, and then also sweet alyssum in purple and white, and hopefully that will begin to bloom out again soon. So yeah, a little disappointed with that. It's weird because certain parts of the yard, the alyssum is growing like crazy, and on the front side of the rock it's beautiful, and then on the other side it looks like so anyway, coming back down this way, we are starting to put the beds in along the roadway, and I really like this bed. It's kind of has a place in my heart. If you look at this stone, the way it broke away in the quarry, it looks like there are angel wings on the stone. It's gorgeous. I have a thing for rocks. So in this one I have sweet alyssum, phlox, and Vinca, and it goes all the way around. And this is one of my I don't know, for some reason, I like this bed a lot. I just like the laciness of it, and I just think it's pretty. And this one is starting to really flush out with the Vincas. You can see they're really starting to move right along. That's the front side of the rock. Let's see. And we'll keep going. The back side of the property, there are boulders all the way down and around. Some of those are staying, some of them are not. Some of them are for the front part of the property when the trees come down, but we just pushed them out of the way. This rock has my geraniums, daylilies, and zinnias all the way around, and I still need to add something else in here, and I just don't know what. Yeah, I need something on the border. So none of my oh, and I also have liatris coming up. Now, none of my beds have been mulched yet, so they are kind of, look kind of, on the ground level. But I'll get to it. It's just been a whirlwind. This one here, again, the salvia is not doing all that great. It is doing better in the back, which is strange. Same bed, same plant, same time. But see, this is it with gardening. You just never know. Sometimes you're going to get something that's going to perform better than other things will. So I will rethink using salvia in my yard like this next year, and rethink the mass planting of something like this. So all the sweet alyssum along the front side is sort of in a dormant stage right now. But anywho, the back side is nice and fluffy and full. So this is where he took and widened out the back of this side part of our yard. And I have no grass. I have lots of dirt. I have lots of rocks. So yeah, it's definitely a little dirty. It's driving me crazy with all the dirt, especially when it does rain, but we haven't had any of that. I'm hoping that the storms today will not be severe, because I just don't want any more mess than what I already have. And then our yard extends all the way down this way and down around the corner. And we have a large area down below, which is where the microburst hit and took out humongous trees. And it was so sad to see that happen, because we lost so many trees. But he's grading this all down in this direction. There will be beds all the way down the next street line. And then he cut in like a roadway going to the back portion of our lot. And you can just see the tip of it right there. Right. And it goes down and around, and yeah. So I'm not going to walk all the way down there, because then I have to walk up the hill. But that kind of gives you an idea as to what Mimi's been up to. It's a work in progress, and there's just so much to do. But we do have, hopes of getting most of it done by the fall. And that will be fabulous if I could start seeing some of this transform over into something a little bit nicer than dirt. So I hope you enjoyed my little tour, and I will be back with a crochet video. I have a bunch of finished objects that I worked on through the shutdown. I haven't been doing much crocheting lately because of everything that I've been doing out here, and I have a lot of weeding to do. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and stay safe, be well, go enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you all later. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and check out all my other videos. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day now. Bye-bye.